in case anyone has a dog, you can read my jumper as well.
What's it say?
Tell your dog I said hi.
Well, you can see what this is. Red Devils.
Oh, is it?
Oh, right, okay.
It's from a good few years ago when I went with my daughter to see Man U.
They used to have a football team, yeah.
And that was a great game. It was a great game. Tottenham v Man United.
I knew, I was trying to avoid that. Yeah,
full house, 1-0 to Man United. It was the most boring game.
Yeah.
The only good thing was
Man
U won. That was the only good thing. The hospitality was great afterwards. So.
That's something, I suppose. That's what you go to a game.
I've just got a general T-shirt. It's really boring. There's no writing on it at all. If I'd known that we were going with a theme, I would have done something about it.
What's our theme for today?
Well, I think that's a good way to start. And this might be an ongoing theme, knowing us. Current annoyances.
Current annoyances. Canoys.
Well, one is that no one told me we were going to have to wear an interesting top, and I don't have one.
I'll be honest, Craig. This is the only interesting top I own. All of mine are like blanket colours. They're just block colours. That's it. Done.
Oh, I've got a dog that's just come to join.
Well, you've got to have a dog to wear that top, I suppose.
Well, I think Frank saw the top.
Well, Craig, given we need to warn everyone, of course, because this is on one of our favourite topics, annoyances. There's every chance that we will break some boundaries and be forthright.
I have no doubt.
No doubt. And so maybe, Craig, given that, are you leaving us?
No.
And knowing you well, Craig, I have no doubt at all there's something that's annoying you at the moment.
Oh, God, you know what? It's where to start. It's where to start, actually.
I think the key factor is current annoyances, right? Because there's things that throughout life that annoy you and they never go away.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll give you one. This is a current annoyance of me. And it's LinkedIn. I know we've spoken about LinkedIn before.
Yeah.
And my belief that LinkedIn is a networking site.
Yeah.
But I am reminded LinkedIn is now not a networking site. It's a place for people to talk to themselves.
Oh, 100%.
The last time I actually went to a networking event. It was a breakfast, so I actually physically went. I went and got my breakfast, and I sat down, and on my right-hand side was my best friend of 40 years. And on the left-hand side was one of my biggest competitors. What a great networking event that was. And that's what LinkedIn is like at the moment. All I see are people talking to people that they're already doing stuff with. Coaches speaking to coaches about coaching things, leaders speaking to leaders about leadership things. There's no networking going on to save it. Here's one for you, Craig. You'll love this one. Yeah. This is a recruitment one. This really annoyed me. It was posted by an expert recruiter. 11, there's always a number, 5, 7. Well, this is 11 tough interview questions. And they were literally, no one in recruitment asked these questions, ever. Because the first one was, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Nobody asked that question.
I've been asked that question.
Why?
It was a long time ago. I was asked that question by an employer that had clearly just entered that role.
Yeah,
okay.
And they looked at the
they Googled what to ask.
They looked at LinkedIn and said 11 tough interview questions.
Yeah, but I can tell you why there's a number involved in it, though. I think, and there is a bit of psychology behind it as well. Is because if they put a number in it, they're indicating that there's a limit to this article, so you will click on it to find out what this list is. But they won't read the article. They'll read the headers. They'll read each number.
Okay, so Steve Jobs said 3's too few and 5's too many. So why do we have 11?
Just to keep you on the site.
Random.
Longer.
It'll be read from some self-help book or guru or one of the coaches that you said that talk to each other that'll have used the number 11 as a magic number or something. Because it's bollocks. And it's the same people that but then you get the people that criticize people who try to approach from a sales perspective on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Was that not one of the main points?
Well, I don't know what the rules are. We've said this before. I don't know what the rules are anymore about why on earth we're on LinkedIn, unless it's make a link with somebody that you might eventually get around to talking about business.
Well, I think you have to do polls now. You also have to do polls.
Yeah, you need if you're active on it.
What
then
should
you
I
need to
put
do
in
all
my
these things.
sandwich today? And you know,
Well,
and
we've
and the
mentioned
community,
that.
the general business community should give a shit why. I don't know, but
Well,
I'll tell you
it's sort
another.
of
I'll
that
tell you annoyance.
being
Go
active,
on,
though, isn't it?
give us
Being
an
I'll
active.
tell you an
annoyance.
annoyance. You'll like this one, Andrew in particular. It's a current annoyance. I'll tell you why. Golf.
Oh yeah, you went to play golf, didn't you?
Well, that was the theory. Yeah, I
Or
did.
try?
I got invited to a corporate golf unit. It was fantastic. Great bunch of people. Now, as you know, Andrew, my golf's been on and off to kind of say to put it mildly. I hadn't played in a while, so I thought I'm gonna retake it back up. Not that I ever fully took it up in the first place, but I got the gear, so I looked the part. I updated some of the gear.
That would be you, Craig. I would
That
imagine
was it.
you would have had the gear.
The clubs are pretty shit. We know that, but I thought, you know, I'll go to the range and I'll do a few 9-hole courses, and that was it. And I started hitting the ball decently well, and I'm getting round. It's worthwhile saying that my golf do was at Glen Eagles, so I turned up ready to go, hit the ball off the tee, and I thought that's okay. Then proceeded to go rapidly downhill, hook pretty much every shot that I did hit, and spent 4 hours in sand pits, bushes.
Sand pits? You mean bunkers?
Bunkers.
Fucking sand pits is what they were, and big ones at that, and ended up in more pain than a week's worth of going to the gym. So the actual annoyance comes not from golf per se, but the fact that you look at it and think, I should be able to do this reasonably well, but you can't do it consistently, and there's no rhyme or reason on how and why things just fall apart the way that they do. That's where my annoyance lies.
I had a really good thing about golf last week or the week before, where people were talking about why do people take golf so seriously, and the comparison was made randomly between golf and baseball, and the comparison was an average golfer has the hope that one day he might hit one shot that's world class. But you would never ever be able to throw a 95-mile-an-hour curveball.
Right. That's a fair reflect, and I do see one of the guys actually said that to me. How much do you play?
Mm-hmm.
I said not very much. Yeah. I said, well, you know, with the greatest respect, how do you expect to go around of course, just enjoy it? And the theory it was, and I did. I had a great day, but there got to a point where I'd said, look, guys, I'm here for the moral support and the banter, and that's it. That's where my influence ends.
Do you want
I did get a prize for being last place. I did get a prize.
Great Colin Montgomery's story. Talk about annoyances. This is not current, but I'm going to make it a current story because it's about golf. There's a competition down here that plays over St Andrews on the Dunhill, and so you get a mix of professional golfers and celebrities. And Colin Montgomery was playing with a celebrity whose name has escaped me. He's married to that Welsh actress lady.
Oh, Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Wow.
So Colin Montgomery was playing with Michael Douglas. And I'm walking along the course, and Michael Douglas is your standard golfer, I would suggest. No offense.
Excellent. I like him. My kind of guy.
And he, on the second tee, he hit his ball into the gorse bush. So there's Colin Montgomery, me, and a couple of other people in the gorse bush scrabbling around. Eventually find Michael Douglas's ball, drop it out, hits it again to the next gorse bush.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're in the next gorse bush, scrabbling around, looking for the ball. Colin Montgomery's joining him, finds it, hits it again, into a gorse bush just a little bit further up. At that point, Colin Montgomery says something that I'm not going to repeat, even on this channel, and walks off.
You're kidding.
Leaves him to it. Just goes, I'm out of here. And just carries on and ignores the boy. And we're meant to be in partnership. He just so annoyed he'd had enough. There you go.
That's poor grumpy Mrs. Doubtfire wasn't liking that.
I think he's a lot cheerier now because he's not competing. I think that always helps, doesn't it? Yeah.
There is that.
Well, it's got to be your turn then, Sean. We've talked about a couple of annoyances. Anything current for you?
Yeah, there was one that hit me on Sunday, just past, where it's the sort of annoyance that really shouldn't annoy you, if that makes sense.
Aren't most of them like that, really?
Well, yeah, yes and no, but this is an experience that I had that really irritated me, and I got myself really wound up about it, and I really shouldn't have. But wife and I went to Starbucks and pre-ordered. I don't know if you guys have got the Starbucks app, but you order it for click and collect, and away you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. So essentially, that is to promote speed and efficiency, right? So you're in and out without having to wait for it, right? But we ordered on the app, went in to go and get it, and I actually went to say, oh, we've got this order. Here's the code or whatever it was, and I heard the woman behind the counter say to the other person, say, all right, well, they're gonna have to wait for everybody else to go because we've got a big queue. I went, doesn't that defeat the point of doing what I just did?
Completely.
I honestly lost my mind. I nearly got thrown out of Starbucks for it because I couldn't wrap my head around why it wasn't made when we were arriving.
Well, that definitely would annoy me as well.
Yeah,
me too.
Even more than that, what annoys me is those apps for pre-ordering.
Yeah.
You have to pre-order your coffee, pre-order your burger, pre-order your Kentucky Fried whatever.
No, honestly, I couldn't get my head around it, and it wasn't so much. Well, it was the fact that I did pre-order this, and I could have just went in and ordered it. Like, it was the exact same result either way. There was no benefit of the app whatsoever, but it was also her attitude towards it. So she couldn't understand my annoyance.
Why it didn't work? What you were annoyed about. So, well, just don't offer that as an option.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's pre-order. It's not an option if it doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
It's like queue jumping things, fast passes.
Yeah.
We did one of those in. It's current. It wasn't current, but you've just made me think about it. Pay for a fast track pass.
Yeah.
And we were in Milan, and it was to see this cathedral, which was really worthwhile. So there was a massive queue. I mean, huge queue. And then we paid extra for a fast pass and then joined a slightly less enormous queue. I was like, do you know? No, refund, because that's not a fast pass.
I tell you what,
there's basically 6 people less in this
fast-ish pass.
Yeah.
On the same kind of idea, right? Something that does annoy me, and this is not it is a current annoyance, but it's been an annoyance for me for years, right? And it annoyed me because I fell for it once. Priority boarding on an airline.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What is the point of that? Because you pay.
Let you sit longer on a plane.
Well, that's the thing. You pay to be quicker.
10 seconds ahead of the rush.
If it was a priority exit in the plane, then maybe there's something in that.
100%.
But why would I pay more to do that? And it was on the news. I can't remember who it was, right? But it was a guy who was speaking about it. He goes, "We paid £2 for priority boarding for a flight. Let's not name the airline, right? But there was an awful lot of orange in the ticket. Let's leave it at that, shall we?"
So that could be.
But they paid £2 to be priority boarding, and then I can't remember who it was, but they mentioned it, right? And then they said, "Okay, those that have got priority boarding, time to get in queue," and every single person did it. Every single person stood in the queue. Apologies for the dog noise.
Albie's pissed off about that as well.
No, it's because there's somebody at the door. I'm going to reset. Give me a second.
It's annoying when one of the threesome has to go and. That means I can talk about one of my annoyances about dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, you've got a dog as well, so.
I have, but you don't hear him at all. He just lies like he's literally like a pillow.
I was in a bar in Aberdeen having a meal, and we obviously sat in the dog corner.
I know what you mean.
We were surrounded by dogs. Which is fine, and they brought bowls of water over, which is fine. Okay,
which is good.
I know the world has changed, but it was when the owners of these dogs couldn't control the fact that these dogs had obviously had far too much to drink, and now were arguing with each other, and you just becomes annoying, because you now wonder what's going to happen next. It's going to be an all-in massacre or something like that. But so that was annoying.
Sorry,
can I predict an annoyance?
Yeah, I wonder if that's going to be my
Mm-hmm.
controversial one that I was going to say, but you go first.
Well, it could be. It's football.
Yeah.
Go with football.
I just predict an annoyance. It's just going to be annoying
in general, or
no, just this next few weeks. What generally happens, and in case I have to hold my hand up being English, what generally happens
you're so
is
funny.
that England scrabble through the first round, and you begin to think, I can't be bothered with this anymore. And then they play one great game and get through a to a semi-final and then lose. And the annoyance is, and it's the same this year, it's always on my birthday.
Oh.
Well, my
Not where I
annoyance
thought
was
you were going with it.
Oh, and
slightly
that's
different,
annoying
but
as
I
well.
want to say, and it's a
You
controversial
froze.
one. That my annoyance is it's coming home.
Yes. Okay.
Craig's losing his connection there a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's fine. We're
Did
back.
did I freeze there?
You did a little bit, man. You did a little bit, but we caught the gist of it. It's coming
Yeah,
home.
it's coming home.
It's a
Every
great song,
tournament,
though. It's a great song.
every tournament. That's it. It's coming home. Give it a rest.
My
rest.
I found that to be incredibly funny when it was the Euros. Was it last 2 years ago? Yeah,
Four
the
years
Euros.
ago with the Euros.
And someone was interviewed. I think it was the Dutch goalkeeper. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it was. And the interviewer goes, "What do you think of the idea that England's shouting it's coming home?" And the guy went, "Has it ever been home?" And that was it. Dead. Conversation died straight after that. He's right. I don't think they've ever won it.
Not the Euros. No, you're right.
No,
You're right.
no.
Yeah.
No,
Am I freezing or is everyone else freezing? Is it just
I think
me?
it's yourself, man.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
It's the cold,
Brilliant.
which is another annoyance at the moment. Okay, I'm going to be controversial. Going to be controversial. You know something? When it's cold, it's the weather. When it's hot, it's climate change.
I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not, I'm not
I like
concerned
that.
about climate change
I like that,
as much
Andrew.
as everybody else.
I like
I'm
that
not,
as
I'm
an
not that
annoyance.
concerned.
I like that
because
as an
they
annoyance.
one of the news stories today was the weather's changing. Well, I know what the weather's changing into. It's changing into climate change because it's going to get warm, and that suddenly will be climate change. Not just different weather; it'll be climate change, and that annoys me.
All right. So, briefly talking on climate change, really quickly, we're acting like this is a new thing. Climate change has always been a thing. We've had ice ages and stuff like that. It's always been around.
That's the point. Andrew with the annoyance.
Yeah.
It's not just
exactly.
It's not just because it's getting hotter. Climate change by default means that the climate's changing.
Yes.
So that's one way or another. Some
Absolutely.
areas are
I've seen
some areas are
podcasts from the Jurassic period where the dinosaurs were complaining about climate change.
Yeah, they would have been pissed off as well.
Yeah.
Current annoyance is talking about the weather, but I'm really guilty of it because it's so shit.
Yeah, well, okay, well that's all right then. So the annoyance is the weather, not talking about it.
Well, it's I guess
it's
so.
Both,
but,
I think.
Yeah, I think it's being from the UK is traditionally that's the pastime is to talk about the weather.
And to queue for things unnecessarily.
And to queue for things, of course, that is thing. But I mean, we talk about the weather when it becomes interesting. I think because take for example the last episode we filmed, there was a thunderstorm.
That was bizarre, wasn't it?
It was weird. Yeah, I don't know
sunshine.
if it was picked up. Yeah, literally within a 5-minute period, it went sun, and then all of a sudden thunder came about, hailstones, and then back to sunshine.
Well, that happened to down here on the Friday, and it caused a complete chaos down here because it caused an incredibly short power cut, which stopped all the trains and meant that people couldn't get to see, what was her name? Oh, I've forgotten it. And I'm now looking out the windows. The sun was shining gloriously when we sat down here, and now it looks as if it's going to.
Yeah, I'm the same. And now it's like clouds.
So it's talking about the weather that annoys you, Craig, as opposed to the weather.
Well, it's both because I'm doing it. I find myself, I had 2 meetings today, and to this weather, and it pisses me off turning into one of those people. But because it is, you don't know what to do. You come out with a jacket and a hat, which you shouldn't be doing at this time of year, and then the sun comes out and you're sweating. Or you think, right, shorts and t-shirt, and then you get hit with hailstones and might get killed by lightning. That shouldn't be happening in the middle of June.
No, it's exciting.
So yes, it's the weather. The weather.
I can agree with that. I can, absolutely agree with that.
Well, just to make the link with golf, I'm off to play some golf this weekend, and I've got more clothing planned than I think I've ever had for any sort of golf. Because, as you say, who the heck knows what's going to happen? I'm probably going to take 2 or 3 pairs of golf shoes as well because they'll get soaked. And
see, I would say that the fact that it's annoying you, Craig, as the weather is because it's unpredictable, right? Because if you go to Greece in summer, for example, you pretty much know what you're going to get.
It's gonna be nice and warm.
Yeah, I was in Rome in July actually, and we got hit with a thunderstorm, like really bad, like ridiculous. I was about 30 feet away from a lightning bolt. That's how
Wow.
close it got. It was awesome. Awesome because I never got hit. Admittedly, it lit up
Which,
the
yeah,
sky.
wouldn't be
Something
so
silly.
awesome if you did, because we wouldn't be having this podcast.
Well, true, but I caught it. I caught it in a photo as well, which was bizarre. Taking a picture of the Colosseum and the lightning hit at that exact moment, and the
Wow.
sky lit up blue. It was. I'll share it with you guys because it was awesome.
You need to.
In any case, even when the thunderstorm hits in a country like that, you're not pissed off about it.
No, it is different. It is
Yeah,
different.
yeah, it is.
I think,
And
yeah,
it's
that's,
bad
yeah.
as well. It gets really heavy. It's like
So,
because our weather's unpredictable. It's
so philosophical question.
okay.
Oh,
Does that
but
mean that
a
our
philosophical
annoyances
question at this time. Wow.
come from expectations? In other words, we expect something and we're already preconditioned to be annoyed. So you're expecting everyone to talk about it's coming home, and therefore you're already annoyed, even though I can't think of anyone that's mentioned that quite yet. It's your expectation of annoyance that's annoying
See,
you.
I like how you take the
Yes.
intelligent. You take it up a level of intelligence, which is good. You bring intelligence to the podcast.
Yeah,
And
I
yes,
think
it
so.
could be. Well,
Yeah.
how's this one then? Because this isn't expectations, a major current annoyance, and you probably hear it. Hay fever. Now, let me trade off, right? So if it
Yeah.
was glorious weather and we're sweating and I was doing this from the back garden, I would accept hay fever. I would
Okay,
accept
you
that I'm
go
doing
with
eye
it.
drops, nasal spray, and tablets. It's cold, it's cloudy, and I'm dying with hay fever.
But it's a pollen, man. It's a pollen
That's
thing. Nothing to
shit.
do with the weather, isn't it?
Well,
It's a
well
pollen.
the,
Well,
whoever's fault it is. It's
keeping
them.
the
It's that that's annoying me.
keeping
Yeah.
this theme going, they're warning people in this horrible weather to watch out for sunburn.
What?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Who are
that's the
these
thing.
stupid people?
But you've got to pay attention to the science behind the weather. It's not like you can get sunburnt on a cloudy day.
You
All this
Now,
can
stuff.
if
now,
you
okay,
UV
see, now there's
factor.
another
Yeah,
annoyance
you've
of
got to
mine.
look at the UV
Definite
factor.
annoyance is science. Now,
Okay.
which science are you quoting? Are you quoting the real science, which is irrefutable, unchanging, proven? Or are you quoting the
Oh,
science that
are you quoting?
politicians and medical
Yeah,
people and so on use? It says
bro
we're
science.
following
Yeah,
the science, which says today we think this is going to happen. Yesterday we thought differently, but today the science is telling us something else.
I
Or,
love that
or actually,
I
we're
mean,
ignoring
political
the science
science.
today because
Political
I'm not
science.
paying attention to either of those, to be honest. I'm saying what I've read. I know, I understand it to be this. Job done. I don't want to be that guy. Here's expanding on the current annoyance of that is I don't want to be a victim of change for the sake of change.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Like for
Yeah.
example, I'll give you two examples. And I'm
My
going back.
non-conformist kind of
Well, sort
part of
of,
me
yeah,
likes
yeah.
that. That rings true.
People
I like where
often
you're going with that.
we often try to innovate, right? And that's great. Innovation is key. But doesn't it feel like we're trying to innovate for the sake of justifying your own freaking job? Take for example two things, right? Science, of course, we've sort of figured science out, right? Let's face it, scientists
Yeah,
have figured
science is
things out.
completed. I think we've
Well,
completed
I think so,
science.
and maths is the same way, right? And
Maths is completed. Science is completed.
let's take this,
Let's
take
move
it
on to
from
something else.
take it from an education point of view, right? Now, two different examples. One, in the I would say 1600s or so, the samurais basically designed the perfect sword, right? Let's take it. Never been changed.
who's this guy?
Samurais,
Oh, the
Japanese
samurais.
samurais.
I thought it was Sam
Yeah,
Rice.
Sam Rice.
Yeah,
That's
back
a
in the
name.
1600s, Sam Rice
Yeah,
developed a sword. And
but
what it was, they were never actually called samurais. They were actually called Asian sword warriors, but someone got confused at the name Sam Rice and just assumed the name for
well, I
them
mean,
that
there
they
you
were
go.
called
I thought it
Sam
was some
Rice.
American
Do you know what, Craig? You
engineer or something.
you delivered the first half of that perfectly
A
to the point where
samurai's
if you
sword.
kept it going, you could have been onto something. But yeah,
Okay.
they developed this sword, and I would think it's about the 1600s or so, and it has never been changed, right? Because they don't need to, because it's perfect.
I hope Sam Rice
Maths,
has got a patent for that.
I really hope so. But maths is the same thing, right? When you learn maths, how to multiply and divide and shit like that, you learned it a certain way. I learned it a certain way, and chances are we've learned it the exact same way. But I'm hearing now in education that they've changed the way to do it. But why have they changed the way to do it? Because it can't equal anything else. There is a right answer to it.
Well,
So
after
why
multiplication
change it?
division, you lost me anyway. If you were going to start speaking about
I think that's a really fascinating example. So because the answer remains the same, the process to get the answer can't change.
Well, it can change, but I don't see
Well,
the
there you
need for
go.
it to change. I don't see why it has to
Why I
change.
asked? Okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
But to me,
I get you.
I've
So
said
yeah,
this.
you're giving it's work for the sake of work, right?
Well, sort of, but it's also just people like, and I'm speaking on behalf of my wife who is in education,
And mine, yeah.
and she's always had this complaint: is you've got people that have never worked in schools, running schools, and justifying their own jobs through these innovative changes that actually don't improve the thing at all.
Well,
It's
you get
just,
people that just go and get degrees for the sake of degrees.
of course, I've
So
got a degree for the sake of a degree, actually, in fairness, because I thought I'd use it and I never did.
it's, I mean, God,
So we have to ask, what's the degree in?
I've got a degree in law.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
but that's a viable degree. You can get a degree in manga studies.
Manga studies.
You can also get a degree in Star Trek, in Klingon.
I mean, it's
and to mention Taylor Swift, I believe universities were offering some sort of Taylor Swift appreciation short courses. And
you can get a degree in animal psychology in case your pet is depressed, so you can look into the bottom of it.
Sorry, say that again. You have to do what?
You can get a degree in animal psychology. You can get a degree. This is freaking ridiculous. You can get a degree in surf science and technology. What?
Science?
Now you've got an image of some Hawaiian beach there. Maybe that's what that is.
What is that's ridiculous?
My favorite degree that's mainstream enough to be legitimate, but is also ridiculous at the same time, I feel like, is philosophy. I don't think we sort of. I don't think it's.
I think we've completed philosophy as well. You can add that to science and maths. I think philosophy is completed.
These philosophers were around when no one knew anything. Let's face it.
Yeah, but that was their job, wasn't it?
Exactly. But now, theories and things like that seem to have been sort of.
I always quite like the idea of being a philosopher because it was this kind of idea that you a bit like us here. I think we're being philosophical. That you go along and you have a meeting and somebody says, I've been thinking about such and such. And they'll say, that's really interesting. Let's all disperse for 3 years and come back and talk about what we thought about. I think it's called Delphi. It was the Delphi approach that you had a subject, everyone go away and think about it for a but and then come back.
But then you've got people that are actively
that can also be called useless meetings.
Yeah.
Is that what this is? Or?
But let's call it. I think it's the Delphi method.
Yeah,
problem solving approach.
Might have to look into that one. Might have to look into that one. But yeah, you've got people that are actively going against things, right? And I think that it sort of feels like they're doing it for no other reason than to draw attention to themselves, right? And my biggest example for this, right, is flat earthers.
Oh yeah.
There's been theories around it for hundreds of years. It was the chap that the kind of theorizer was Copernicus, who said everything revolves around the sun, and there's science and evidence to back that up.
Yeah,
but apparently not. Let's go back, hundreds.
You're actually questioning things that have actually now been proven.
Exactly.
But the difficult thing is the people who are actually questioning them.
Yeah.
To be fair, aren't really at the level of intelligence to really be questioning these things in depth. There's a really good one on YouTube with Dom Jolly, with a guy with a
self-identify as a flat Earth. Is that not
most probably?
Let's not get into that, will we?
Oh, that's a whole other
different game.
That's a whole other. Andrew, you said I couldn't touch on those things. You said
what things are those then? Oh no, okay, no, fair enough. No, it just seems to me that you're talking about science and irrefutable facts and things that have been proven.
Yeah,
but it seems that we've got lots of those, but
now people are arguing with them.
But people say they something else, and what we have to do is affirm that they're okay.
Well,
yes,
sort of. Right. It feels like we're doing this now because annoyances in life society now are annoyances that are pretty mundane. Let's face it, right? If you've got a real problem, all the mundane shit goes out of the window, right?
I 100% agree with that.
And it's
100%
sort
agree
of
with
evidenced by COVID, right? Let's talk about the global pandemic, right? Put basically everything out the window for at least a short period of time, right?
that. Yeah.
Because ISIS was on the rise, and then COVID hit, and then that
And they were
died out
forgotten about.
for a little while at least. All the petty arguments and shit died away when something major happened, and I think that would be the same. World War II, for example. If we were to have a World War III where everybody had to get involved, you wouldn't have people running around going, "This Earth's flat," because that's not really a problem.
Well, because it would be flat if we did have a world.
Well, yeah, carpet bomb the whole thing.
To be fair,
but
that's an interesting little strategy you got there, Sean.
Well, the point.
All this stuff about woke and self this and flat earthing. Let's just have a war.
Let's have a war. Let's increase.
Let's just have a war.
So instead of trying to suppress war, what we should try and do is increase
just have one
war zones. So then wokeness and other annoying, petty things would disappear.
Well, that's the
and
thing.
would
They're
go back
on the rise
to
because
a common sense, stoic planet.
Well, because we've gotten to the stage now where life is essentially pretty simplistic and quite easy for a lot of people.
That's because we've completed maths and science.
Well, we have, yeah.
What was the other one we completed?
Well, I tell you, okay, I'm going to give you a today annoyance, and it's incredibly important, and that's pleats in men's trousers.
Pleats in men's trousers?
Yeah.
Now,
okay. Seemingly, this is now what you have to do again: is have a pleat in your trousers.
That's the lines that go down the.
No, that's a pleat, but a kind of overlap at the top of your trousers and pleats, and that's back to kind of Oxford bags and so on from the 1980s. But the annoyance, I'm using pleats as an example, is we have just discovered a brand new fashion, and you think. No, you haven't.
that goes around and comes back around though.
It's because, just
like fashion goes in and out, and yeah, you're right there. I'm 100% with you on that one. Is whoever is the fashionable age has discovered that.
We've discovered it.
That's it. The one that gets me, and I'll never get on board with it, no matter how long I live, is men's trousers that don't fit them because it doesn't. Like for some reason, men feel the need to show their ankles now. And you just look like a dick.
Well, that's because we've had a leader who's leading the fashion brigade with his trousers being a little too short.
I was of the I don't know if you guys, but I when I was at school, if your trousers did not fit, you got the shit ripped out of you for it. It was pretty bad at the time, but now it's fashionable.
I wear trousers that don't fit. They're called shorts. Shorts. No one needed a 3/4 option.
It's worse than that, though, isn't it, Sean? It's worse than that. I don't know, I'm going to insult half the male population of a certain age here, and I don't mind. It's those men who wear those silly little socks that don't come above their shoes so they can show off their ankles. What the heck is that about?
Yeah. Do you know what? I actually, out of curiosity,
they're trainer socks.
They're called trainer socks.
They're trainer socks. You wear them.
No, wear proper white tennis socks that are folded over neatly.
Worse than that, Andrew. Worse than that. I tried a pair of them out of curiosity, and they kept falling off my heel. So it kept rolling up under my shoe.
Yeah, you need to get the pair. Yeah, they frustrate the shit. But there's pairs you can find now. I've searched for these that are not quite tennis socks. They're not quite trainer socks. They're the equivalent of the 3/4 length trouser for feet.
Yes.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about. But worse than that. What I see nowadays, especially at like the gym and things, or in the hot weather where people are wearing shorts. If you're wearing shorts, you wear normal socks pulled up as far as you can pull them up, basically.
Yeah,
that irritates the fuck out of me.
Yeah, 70s tennis, Luke. It's not.
What is the point of that? Like that does not look.
Are these branded socks? So you need to be able to see the logo or something like that?
No. Plain white or whatever it is.
That's 1930s. So they're wearing sort of white shoes as well with it and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what we say.
That can't come back. That can't come back. And shorts that really aren't shorts and they show a bit too much. Men shouldn't be wearing those.
Or guys that are still wearing those 3/4 length trousers that their wife bought them from Primark 4 or 5 years ago to go on holiday.
Go on holiday and they're still kicking about.
I'll just get those out again and stick
put them away. Put them away.
Turns out there's quite a lot that annoys us then, yeah.
Well, I think I think we've managed. This is definitely going to be an ongoing episode. I think what would be real fun is for people to get in touch with annoyances, and we could maybe have a collation of different annoyances from people that are tuning in, and we could talk around them. That would be kind of fun.
I'm sure folk out there have got better annoyances than we have. And
Andrew, I think we set that as a challenge.
I suspect people that are listening to this have been annoyed about things we've said, and I'd love to hear that as well. You know what? I'll hold my hand up if we've offended. I'll hold the hand up and say sorry. But
I think we're less.
Well, I'm sorry they feel that way. Is that?
Okay, that's kind of that's.
They're entitled to an opinion, so am I.
Well, till the next time. Till the next time.
Till the next time, we'll find out what annoys us next month, and we'll
but yeah, as Craig says, if you've got some annoyances, let us know. Go onto our website www.fourwalls.org.uk and send us your annoyance.
Even if it's us, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, good to talk. Speak soon.
See ya.